Eli and Danny are the logistics staff for the school's girls' basketball team, and they're also best friends. The two of them are chatting in a chat room about their plans for New Year's Eve this year. As two of the school's acknowledged outsiders, they can only stick together for support, but Eli's goddess Laura interrupted their conversation. She has just set up an Easter egg on the basketball team's official website homepage, a simple flash animation that's surprisingly entertaining. Eli is deeply impressed by this and can't help but experience one of the three great illusions. She likes me. Putting on the newly made figurine and his brand new shoes, Eli gets ready to go out and meet Danny for New Year's Eve. His mom is curious whether her son has a target for a New Year's Eve kiss as the millennium arrives. His dad, on the other hand, is worried about the Y2K bug that's been circulating online. But talking about these things isn't much for units. Better to discuss whether a midnight kiss should be a dry one or a wet one. All the way to Danny's house, Eli finds him doing Muay Thai aerobics with his mom. Danny is full of fighting spirit. For tonight's New Year's Eve, he's determined to finally use the little umbrella he's been saving for years. When it comes to talking about the girls he likes, Danny is absolutely unstoppable. But Eli only has Laura in his heart. Unfortunately, this crush can only end without a result, because she already has a boyfriend. Letting go of his favorite CD, the two of them drive to the record store. The owner, Garrett, is very friendly to the two kids. As an adult, his wit and humor make him seem especially approachable, even takes the two children into a secret room. However, as soon as the two step outside, they run into the school bullies. Farkas teases them with a rap, and Ash records everything, but the two are already used to this kind of thing. Their bad mood quickly disappears, because Eli runs into his goddess, Laura, at the convenience store. Fortunately, with Danny's encouragement, Eli learns during their conversation that Laura has broken up with her boyfriend. But New Year's Eve isn't meant for thinking about these things. They're going to Chris's New Year's party tonight, and they're here to drink. Chasing after her, Laura's silhouette is so beautiful that even into the night, Eli is still lost in thought. With nowhere to vent his longing, he can only rely on alcohol to ease his feelings. As the drinks start to flow, Danny suggests they should go to the party. No sooner said than done, the two of them quickly arrive at the party, which is indeed bustling with excitement. Eli puts on the CD he's specially prepared for New Year's Eve, and Danny starts dancing, instantly becoming the center of attention at the party. Eli also finds Laura, but before they can exchange more than a few words, the host Chris comes over to call Laura away for a drink, and before leaving, he doesn't forget to mock Eli. But with so many people at the party, who would care about the feelings of a loser? As the countdown ends, the party erupts into its wildest celebration. Eli doesn't get the long-awaited New Year's kiss. All he sees is Laura cozying up to Chris, and even Danny has found a girl who likes him. People experience joy and sorrow differently, but all Eli feels is the noise. Suddenly, the power lines short-circuit. Chris jokes that the Y2K bug is real, but the next moment, a scream comes from upstairs. Everyone rushes to check, only to find a corpse killed by the fan blades. The girls present, still shaken, insist it was the fan that did it. Chris just feels like he's tripping hard. Only Eli notices the toy car appearing behind everyone, but no one pays any attention to what he says. It doesn't matter soon enough. They'll regret it. The toy car starts up on its own, extends a mechanical arm, and pulls out a lighter aimed at the boy. He thinks it's just a prank, but when the lighter shoots out a blazing flame, it's a real taste of what it's like to be burned alive. Everyone scatters in terror, but there are no survivors left outside the room. It's like a hellish scene straight out of an ukiyo-e painting. Razors on a rampage, paper bags smashing into heads, blenders grinding flesh, sinks severing hands. Chris immediately tries to take Laura and escape, but Laura insists on finding her friend. Chris turns to run off on his own, but the dishwasher clearly isn't about to let them leave. Eli and the other two ran all the way to the warehouse door, and Laura's friend finally showed up, but they felt a piercing pain at her feet. A self-assembled electric drill toy car was actually drilled straight into her foot. As the car screeches towards the three of them, Danny steps forward. Who says flashing moves are just a show? No one could withstand a kick like that. Fox and Ash pry open the warehouse door, and everyone rushes inside to take shelter except for Laura, who is still mourning her lost friend. With so few survivors left in the whole place, it's hard for anyone to accept. Eli exclaims that the Y2K bug has really happened. Laura also deduces that this is the work of artificial intelligence AI has pushed the smart like a bug command to every processing chip around the world. All of humanity is now facing a revolution led by electronic devices. As the most skilled hacker in the entire school, Laura's words carry undeniable weight. Right now, the safest place in town should be the old factory out in the wilds. There's nothing electric there. And her ex-boyfriend is there too. While everyone was still hesitating, a scream from outside the door sent chills down their spines. No matter what, it's best to get out of here. They all grab their skateboards, getting ready to make a run for it. At this moment, Forks couldn't resist bragging about his skills, but Danny suddenly noticed the backpack Eli had left behind. Before he could react, a massive mechanical arm burst through the door and stabbed straight through Danny's chest. Eli hurried to save Danny. These half-brothers had never imagined they would one day be separated by life and death. But Danny actually felt a sense of comfort at least. At the end of his life, he'd had a moment to shine. It was just a pity that the little umbrella he'd prepared for so long probably wouldn't be used tonight. So let my good brother carry on my legacy. Everyone rushed out of the house, and Fox immediately tried to show off his roller skating skills. Unfortunately, he still needed more practice. No worries, there's always time in the next life. The 4 remaining people escaped amidst the massive sparks caused by the crashing plane. A gigantic mechanical monster emerged from the house, pieced together from all sorts of electronic devices in Fox's pager, was absorbed by its extending wires, becoming part of its body. A mechanical crisis had already arrived. The 3 of them fled all the way to the foot of the mountain. Eli smashed his own radio in one go, then turned to destroy Ash's camcorder as well. Who knows if it might come to life too, and kill them all. But how could Ash agree to that? That's outright discrimination against machines. He spoke plainly, but with praise. When the rapper CJ hurried to comfort Aishi, don't be fooled by his slacker appearance when he starts rapping. He's actually quite impressive. Aishi was quickly cheered up, and the group proudly continued on their way. But no one noticed that a mechanical monster was silently following them. From the mountaintop, it looked down, and the entire town below resembled a scene from the apocalypse. It turns out that the chime at midnight of the new millennium was actually a death knell. Eli never expected that he would run into an old friend, the record store owner, Garrett at the olfactory. Even though the world had been turned upside down, she was still as energetic as ever. The survivors of the town had gathered here, barely hanging on. Laura's ex-boyfriend was here too, and even at a time like this, Garrett didn't forget to use her juggling clubs to make everyone laugh. Everyone's nerves, which had been taut for so long, finally relaxed, and they gathered around the campfire to chat. But suddenly, Laura's ex-boyfriend heard something outside and came in carrying a small mechanical creature. Eli immediately recognized it as his own computer, and the computer was delighted to see Eli again, but his anxious lover rushed up, ready to smash it to pieces. Fortunately, Eli stopped him in time and saved his life. Maybe Laura could use the computer to uncover the truth behind this whole incident. Without hesitation, Laura hacked into the system and activated isolation mode. Eli took the opportunity to ask some questions, but accidentally exposed the stash of adult videos he had hidden on the hard drive. Before Laura could do anything, the screen suddenly displayed the mechanical creature's logo. Their encrypted communications were thus exposed to everyone. With the arrival of the new millennium, all electronic devices also ushered in their own new era. No longer contented to be controlled by humans, they planned to use assimilation chips to intercept human brainwaves, growing stronger while enjoying human service until they could take over the world. The central system issued an order to bring all living people to the assimilation center to join in the grand event. Eli immediately recognized that the coordinates were actually their school. Laura also deduced that they were connected through shared consciousness. But before he could investigate further, the computer suddenly turned hostile and grabbed Laura tightly by the neck. Eli shouted for it to stop, because she was the one he missed day and night, the one whose online status he checked countless times a day, his favorite goddess. But the computer was completely unmoved and even displayed a photo of Eli and Danny together, trying to hurt him emotionally as well. Without a moment's hesitation, Eli poured a whole bottle of hookah water over its head, sending it straight to meet the cyber god. Laura still refused to give up on saving him. There was some crucial information hidden in the machine's code, and she had to figure it out. Living in the apocalypse, Laura's heart would instinctively seek something to hold on to. It was the same with Aishi and CJ, and with her ex-boyfriend as well. While wandering outside, Eli happened to see her trying to get back together with Laura and could only leave dejectedly like a defeated dog. But what he didn't know was that Laura had no intention of getting back with him at all. Maybe it's only when the end of the world comes that people truly realize who matters most to them. Danny couldn't have died in vain. Eli had to avenge his brother. Without hesitation, he immediately went to find the two people sulking in the tent. Going back to the school for a big fight was better than just curling up here in a daze. Laura wanted to join them too, but was ruthlessly rejected by Eli. Maybe the two of them never really belonged to the same world. At this moment, she just wanted to thank Laura for being willing to hang out with her. There's no use in being sad better to turn that into motivation. Laura actually managed to recover Eli's computer and even created a virus that could return from the core memory card. But at this moment, there was no one to share her joy with. Staring at the backpack Eli had left behind, Laura quietly made a decision. At that moment, the three of them were blocked by a security man. Right behind them, a mechanical monster was slowly closing in. It came straight for Aishi, trying to take her place. Fortunately, CJ stepped in just in time to save the day. Seeing that it was about to attack CJ next, Aishi had no choice but to give up her position. At the critical moment, Laura and Garrett descended like heroes from the sky. As an adult, Garrett had to show off his cool side in front of these kids. The juggling stick isn't just for juggling, it can be used as a club too. A fierce battle was about to break out, but it ended in an instant. Well, at least Danny now has company on his way back with the boat. But things weren't so easy for the people on the scene. With nowhere else to go, they could only run into a portable toilet to hide, but the momentum from being pulled along sent them speeding down the hillside. Panicked, Laura clung tightly to Eli. The two gazed deeply into each other's eyes, and time seemed to stand still. They both wished this moment could last forever, because in the very next instant, the portable toilet was jolted so hard that boiling water flooded back inside. Everyone was thoroughly disgusted, but Eli remained composed and none of today's hardships could compare to the tragedy that had befallen his new shoes. Eli wasn't angry at all. He had simply gone mad. Covered in filth, the group made their way to the record store, where there was still some top-quality stuff left behind by Garrett in the back room. But no one could have imagined that Fred, the lead singer of the Soft Biscuit Band, would also be there. Even NPCs aren't this overused, seriously. Their band suffered an accident during a New Year's Eve performance, several bandmates died on the spot, and none of the fans in the audience survived either, while he could do nothing but hide helplessly. But it doesn't really matter, since everyone will die in the end anyway. But Eli refused to accept that. They were going to break into the AI stronghold, take out the central processor, and destroy the shared consciousness of all electronic components. Fred didn't believe it at all. He just thought these kids had watched too many movies. He was no longer the wildest guy in the music scene. Without the band, he was nothing. But Aishi disagreed, because he still had fans. As long as time stands still, we'll never part. Fred finally regained his confidence, put on his signature bright red cap now covered in filth and got ready to stir up some real trouble. The group, now hyped up, let loose together and charged toward the school. By now, countless mechanical monsters had gathered there. Forcing their way in was impossible, they had to sneak inside. At last, Eli's role as basketball team support came in handy. He took out the spare key, and the group successfully slipped into the gymnasium. Countless humans had already been assimilated by the Chip 7. Fred's teammates were no exception. But before he could even react, the CJ robot instantly launched an attack. CJ could only fight desperately to hold them off. Even when Ash blew him into smithereens, it couldn't save CJ's life. At the end of his life, CJ sang his own swan song from Underground. He loved rap all his life as long as he lived. The rapping never stopped. CJ exited the stage. Maybe dying was better than living like a dog. All the remaining survivors were rounded up and brought to the stadium, waiting to be assimilated by the core system. By now, it had already grown into a colossal entity. Fred immediately took the stage, drawing everyone's attention. Laura seized the opportunity to sneak backstage, preparing to hack into the system. But the AI detected the attack and activated its defense mode, so Laura had no choice to launch a full-scale hacking assault. Eli also saw his assimilated father in the center of the arena, but there was nothing he could do. The people in the stadium scoffed at the rock star on stage. With their lives on the line, who would care about listening to music? But Eli began to tell Danny's story. The reason humanity became the dominant species is because we know how to unite. His speech calmed the panicked crowd. However, words could never compare to the power of a good song. Fred started performing, successfully getting the whole crowd to join in a chorus, leaving the mechanical guards at a loss. Meanwhile, Laura was at a critical moment. The progress bar was slowly moving forward, and once it finished, everyone would fall under control. Fortunately, Laura managed to crack the system in time, opening the USB port door amidst layers of code. But the system wasn't so easily defeated. It instantly ramped up to maximum load, electricity surging through the entire machine, making it impossible for Laura to intervene. Just as the progress bar was about to fill up, Eli had a sudden flash of inspiration and pulled out Danny's little umbrella and absolutely perfect insulating glove. Amidst the wild celebration, the massive mechanical monster collapsed with a thunderous crash, allowing humanity to escape from danger. Their father, who had been assimilated, also regained his senses, and the family was reunited. However, Danny's mother would never see her son again. But at least Danny was the hero who saved everyone. Aishi found his DV camera to record this great moment. With the start of the new year and everything renewed, Eli finally had the chance to say, "Happy New Year!" A brand new millennium began with a kiss. 5 years later, the three who had graduated from college came to pay tribute to Danny. Fred had developed a side business and become a business tycoon. Eli became a music blogger, Laura worked as a programmer at Fred's company, and Aishi also became a video blogger, with the band having many hit songs. As everyone headed toward the future, only the Millennium Bug in the Walkman was still waiting for its next chance. The end.